in a matchup between the SEC and the Big 12. She is the first Knight starting pitcher on this field. We're set to go. The 32nd meeting all time, Gators and Knight. First pitch grounded to third, throw to first in time as Humphreys makes the play and Kendra Falby retired on one pitch for the first down of the ball game. And so just like that, we're underway. Let's look at the Knights defense here. As you see, Maddie Simon at center field with Samantha Ray at left, Izzy Mertez at right, Humphreys at third with Aubrey Evans at short, Coco Jaimes at second, Ashley Griffin at first, Beth Damon catching. First pitch there, up and in to Colby Otis is a ball. 1-0 the count. One thing you'll notice in this first inning, it'll be very quiet in the stadium. No music we playing, due to, of course, as a part of the autism awareness. The 1-0 is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count to Otis.
And getting Falby on that first pitch, one-out combo was really good there for Vega, and just trying to be most efficient with her pitches tonight. Again, trying to set the tone here early in this game.
She pops it up. Damon is there to make the catch, and Otis is retired on the foul out. 2 up, 2 down here in the first.
Great job by Beth Damon, just immediately able to pick this ball up right off the bat of Otis, making the play. Again, another big out here. The top part of this Florida lineup, who, Eric, we know the depth of this Florida program and how good they've been for how long they've been, but a couple of big outs here to start the game for UCF.
Taylor Shoemaker, the freshman, takes ball one. Comes into the game tonight, 1 RBI behind Texas's Katie Stewart for the nation's lead in RBIs with 52. She is also 6th in the country with 13 home runs. And is right now, I would say, leads the nation in runs scored with 45 and is probably the nation's leader right now for National Freshman of the Year. Set the tone from the opening weekend on. She is ahead of the count 2-0. There's a strike and the count is 2-1. Head coach Tim Walton told us as good of a hitter at the club level that he's ever seen, which is a high compliment. One of the best swings he's ever seen, Taylor Shoemaker. The 2-1 pitch. It's fouled off, and it's 2-2.
When you're a coach and you look at a player like Shoemaker and what she's been able to do in just her freshman year has been so impressive, and then you're just so excited for the rest of her career and looking ahead at what she's going to be capable of, but just trying to keep it under control right now, because you got to ride the waves sometimes. It's a roller coaster. It's a long 60-plus game season, so trying to keep it in perspective. Coach was really humble about that.
Count is full, 3-2 to Shoemaker. Sold out crowd here at the complex for the annual Florida UCF game. Vega to the 8th, and Madison Simon hitting 9th for the Knights against Caitlin Oxley, who first freshman from Bartow, Florida, gets the start here for the Gators.
Another 3-pitch mix too from Oxley in the circle. Young freshman getting the start here. I like to see it, and just kind of giving her that good experience. And we hear it all the time, Eric, the experience is the most important teacher out there on the field. So just got to really test these young ones and see what they're capable of.
1-1 to count to Ray. It's strike. 1-2. Of course, the Knights scuffling offensively. Struggled in the weekend against Iowa State. Got a couple days there to get kind of clear their heads a little bit. As you see Coach Ball Malone. As the 1-2 to Ray is fouled off. And sometimes when you're struggling a little bit in a bit of a slump, getting away from the game for a day kind of can clear your head, can help.
Getting away, I think, is some of the best advice I was ever given as an athlete, as a hitter. You know, anytime I was struggling, coach wouldn't allow me in the cage. And at first I was like, don't I have to fix my swing? They're like, no, you need to just not touch a bat for a day, maybe 2.
2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Against Ray, against Oxley. Oxley got the save up in Gainesville in their first meeting as Ray grounds it to second, fielded cleanly, throw to first in time with Williams making the play at second base. There you see Mia Williams with Reagan Walsh at first base. Williams at second. Riley Horttorf at short with Halen at third with Otis, Falby, and Shoemaker in the outfield with Jocelyn Erickson catching for this Gators team. Sierra Humphreys takes the strike, and it's 0-1 to count to Humphreys. This is the first time these two teams have played here in Orlando since 2022. That's missed high for a ball. 1-1 the count. Last couple of years they've played in Gainesville. Oxley, 1-1. Humphreys fouls it back. Count is 1-2 to Humphreys, hitting .385, 2 homers, 15 RBIs. Look at how packed it is all here today and up in the outfield. Some getting away from the shade, the sun area. But look at that. A lot of stands, seats taken. The standing room. Sold out crowd on this beautiful Wednesday evening.
Everybody has to love the in-state matchup, and just, again, close quarters for some people obviously rooting for the home team, UCF. Some people here from the Florida Gators, so it's not too far.
That's down the line, and that is called a foul ball. Barely a foul ball. Humphreys' ball. Let's take a look.
Humphreys just going to hit this one right there down the line, but third baseman Cahalan does a good job, not trying to force anything. Tries to grab it if she can, but I think that's where players sometimes get in that dangerous territory, is when they try too hard to go get the ball and then they kind of obstruct the view of the umpire.
1-2, low, ball 2, 2-2 to count. So Humphreys has even the count at 2-2. There's Tim Walt, 20th season as head coach for the Gators. All-time winningest coach in Florida Athletics, of course. Got inducted into the NFC Hall of Fame. There's a base hit into right field as Humphreys with the single extends her on-base streak to 23 games, gets on with 1 out.
Look at that pitch in the other batter's box, but Sierra Humphreys has such great plate coverage there, just lets it get deep in the zone, driving it to the opposite field. That's a really good piece of hitting, behind in the count too, working her way back even. That's good stuff. Sierra Humphreys is arguably the best hitter in this UCF lineup. So definitely probably going to see the rest of the night pitch selection be a little bit more careful coming from Florida that you've been wanting to see from your offense.
Beth Damon at the plate. She swings, hits a fly ball. This will stay in the park at left center as Falby comes over to make the catch. Damon flies out for the second out of the inning. Well, Evans now with 4 homers, up to 15 RBIs. And for the first time in a while, Alex, we could say UCF has a lead. They did not lead in the Iowa State series. Mertes takes ball 1, 1-0 to count. There's Aubrey Evans, and a quick start for UCF. See if that gets their confidence going. Jumping out early on Oxley. 1-0 is missed. 2-0. 2-0 the count to the freshman Mertes. Comes into this ball game top 6 in the country in doubles with 12 this season. 6 away from the school record held by Aubrey Evans, who has 18. Back in 2023. Mertes ahead of the count, 3-0. Takes ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to Mertes, and she gets on here with 2 outs.
Good patient at bat by Izzy Mertes, not trying to force anything, really challenging Oxley to have to come over the zone. It's a mature at bat.
Now Kotzelnick at the plate. Takes a strike. It's 0-1 to count to the senior Kotzelnick, hitting .290 with a homer and 12 RBIs. Hitting in the 6th spot. 1 up high for a ball. One ball and 1 strike to count. And that is missed for a ball. 2-0. So Oxley has fallen behind here. First gave up the single to Humphreys and then the 2-run homer to Aubrey Evans to left. 2-1 pitch, swinging and a miss by Kotzelnick, and it's 2-2.
That's a big hack too from Kotzelnick, and that's the kind of confidence I like to see in the box. Big swings mean a lot of confidence, aggressive.
And Oxley gets the strikeout to retire the side. Jocelyn Erickson gets hit by the first pitch from Vega. And Erickson will get first base on the hit by pitches. This one gets past Vega. Got away from her there, trying to go inside on Erickson. That'll bring up Reagan Walsh to the plate. The senior, Walsh, who just drove in her 200th career RBI in the victory over Jacksonville last week. Becoming the 5th Gator ever to reach that milestone. As Walsh takes the ball, joining Lauren Hager, the all-time leader, 260 RBIs. Megan Bush, 217. Charla Eccles at 210. And, of course, Francesca Anea at 221, the assistant coach for Florida. Over at first base. There's a strike by Vega. There's Fran, of course, used to sit right next to me here in the broadcast booth from 2021 to 2023. Of course, did the Gator broadcast with Kyle Crooks, among many. P for the Knights.
Sierra Humphrey so good on the hot corner here. Look at this ball in the 5-6 hole. Going to take her to her knees on the forehand side there, but just gets up on the knees, fires it over to second base. The bang-bang play to Jaimes. Man, that's a great turn.
An incredible turn of events there. So 2 outs for Williams now at the plate. Swings in championship in 2006, 2006 when he played with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. Of course, was a great collegiate basketball player as well. Ties at Florida. Ball and a strike to count to Williams. Takes upstairs 2-1 the count. Of course, Williams' mom was a javelin thrower at Florida. One of the best ever. Good family traits there, athletic-wise.
Yeah, I was going to say, quite literally runs in her genes and her DNA.
2-1 from Vega. The strike, and it's 2-2 to count. So a hit by pitch to Erickson, and then the double play turn. And we mentioned in the open how great players got to make great plays in these matchups, and Humphreys did there defensively. 2-2. Got her. Vega strikes out Williams and ends the inning. With some help from her defense, the Knights up 2 as we head to the bottom. Alex, with Yoda, the pug.
We're off to a hot start here. Look at Yoda and the little blanket, maybe serving as a costume. Not so sure.
Coco Jaimes pops up on the first pitch as it's caught by Hottorf. Riley Hottorf, the transfer there from Washington, making the play for the first out. Send your pictures over to UCF production. Hurry up Ashley Griffin to the plate. And again, if you see the Knights helmets there, you got that, it's again, all autism awareness showing there in the helmets. It's 3rd annual this year. The UCF has hosted it. And that's why you see the coaching staffs wearing the gear that they're wearing. You see, look at this right there, the gear, Alex, with the shirts and the socks.
Going all out.
Griffin. There's he, Coach Ball Malone. Pleased with her team getting a good start here. Griffin takes 3-1. Of course, Coach Ball Malone very familiar with Tim Walton. They go way back. Back to the days when she was playing at Pacific as Griffin draws the 1-out walk to get on base. Tim Walton was an assistant at Oklahoma, and of course they would then see each other in the recruiting trails when Coach Ball Malone was on the staff of Brian Cozy at Pacific. And later on at Washington, they both seemed to always be recruiting similar players, and to the point where Coach Ball Malone went up to Coach Walton's like, I guess I need to follow you all over the place since we're looking for the same type of talent. The 0-1 pitch. Of course, they coached together recently on the U.S. national team. On the under-18 team winning the gold in 2019, as well as the 2022 up in Birmingham. The 0-1 is missed for a ball. 1-1 the count. Coach Walton says the thing that impresses him about Coach Ball Malone is how she could coach all aspects of the game. She could be obviously the pitching coach, could also coach the offense, could coach defense, could do it all. It's line to second and the catch is made as Simon is retired on the line out. That's the out. 2 gone. Here's Williams making the play. We go back to the top of the order with Samantha Ray coming to the plate.
But I think that's, Eric, to your point, is one of the things that's most impressive about Coach Bob Malone is not only can she do it, but she also knows her strengths and tries to bring in assistants to help complement those.
The quick throw to first, and that is in time. And just like that, a quick inning. We head to the third. Knights up 2.
Amazing things like competitiveness, love, disappointment, bounce backs, and great comebacks.
Thank you very much, Berkeley. Kenley Cahalan, the junior, leading it off here for the Gators. Count is 1-1. Pretty cool. See that? Pre-game festivities. The 1-1. First, we had Georgie throwing out the first pitch. Today, had Kasem, the youngest of the 3 boys, for Coach Bob Malone throwing out the first pitch. 4 has thrown out before. I don't know if they're rotating or how they decide. You know, man, it's just like a pitching coach, right? Decide last minute. That's a pop-up to second. Jaimes is there as Cahalan is retired for the first out here in the third. Here's the ceremonial first pitch by George. Look at George.
Love it. And the hat, so festive. Love the shirt, too. The autism puzzle pieces, super special.
There he is right there. George always comes to a lot of games along with Mom. Mom right there to his left there on the screen. It's the 0-1 pitch to Ava Brown, getting the start here in the DP spot. The second team All-SEC player last year. Of course, two-way player, has great power, as well as, of course, good pitcher there. Won 16 games last year. And the sophomore, who's one of the top highly recruits, is ahead of the count 2-0. As Damon now can have a word with Vega. What's it like to play a part of this type of game here? Big matchup, in-state, big crowds. You've been a part of it on all levels, from the Florida State Florida games, the Florida State UCF games. What's it like?
Well, it's easy to get, amped up for games like this because it's obviously a great opponent that you're playing. The rivalry and the in-state matchup definitely helps complement that a little bit too. So you're really just trying to control the butterflies more than anything and figure out how to perform under these high-pressure moments. I mean, you've got people out there in the stands that sometimes spew hate at you just for no reason, just because of the colors that you're wearing. And so it's been a lot of fun. And again, as an athlete, just one of the reasons you come to programs like these is to get on these kind of stages.
The strike of the count is 2-2 to Brown, hitting .308 with 3 homers, 10 RBIs this season. The Gator offense that's 3rd in the country in slugging percentage, 6th in on-base percentage. As Vega goes away, 3-2 the count. 3rd in the country in home runs with 62, and 5th in the country in base hits. Payoff pitch, line foul. And you have a deep lineup when you've got somebody like Brown with good power hitting in the 8th spot.
You look at this Florida lineup up and down, and you don't have one single player that's getting a start tonight that's hitting under 300, and that just speaks to the depth that this team has and how good they are across the board. That's why I think we've seen them have so much success early in the season, coming in at the top 5 spot. I mean, it says a lot again about what you're building, the expectation, the standard that you're upholding.
Brown grounds it to 3rd. Humphreys is there, will throw to first in time to retire Brown for the 2nd out here in the top of the 3rd.
The importance tonight, too, is making the routine plays actually routine, and Sierra Humphreys does a great job cutting that one off, gets it on the easy bounce, too, fires over to first. Just really good fundamental stuff from Humphreys. She's been solid all season long.
Riley Holtorf takes a ball. Of course, Holtorf was first team all Pac-12 a year ago in Washington. It was, of course, part of the Huskies team that played in the World Series in 2023. Part of that infield now for the Gators. Fouls that off, hitting .328, 2 homers, 17 RBIs. Part of that new left part of the infield there with Holtorf and Cahalan. See, Tim Walton was inducted into the Hall of Fame, the NFCA Hall of Fame, this past December in Dallas. Well-deserved honor. Won his 1,000th game as Gator head coach earlier this year. The 1-1. a strike. It's 1-2. Two-time national champion, 12 College World Series appearances for Tim Walton. His Gator team, 30-4 on the year. 1-2. Popped up foul. You got to face him many a times, and he even coached in the pros briefly there as well.
Coach Walton is one of the smartest minds, I think. We become so fortunate as athletes to be surrounded by great people throughout our careers, and he's definitely one of them. What he's been able to do and create at Florida, the success that he's had, again, I think more than anything just shows how great of a coach he is. Very fortunate to keep learning from minds like his.
As a person that's helped a lot of coaches in the sport, there have been a lot of coaches over the years that have told me, you know, Coach Walton put in a good word for me, help me out, and get opportunities.
It says a lot when you have somebody that's so successful also vouching for you. I mean, how do you ignore it? Because clearly they're doing the right things within the sport, and you just got to be able to sometimes listen to what they have to offer.
Payoff pitch. Line foul. Of course, Coach Ball Malone being one of them. Tim Walton spoke on her behalf when she was up for the Boise State job and when she was up for the UCF job. Just one of many examples. Both of these coaches, of course, coaching together in the U.S. national team. Their families are close. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. High ball 4 and a walk as Hottorf gets on. Second Gator to reach base, this time via the walk. So now Falby will come up there. It was out on her one pitch in the first inning. Swung on the first pitch and grounded out. She hits here with 1 on, 2 out. Falby takes a strike. Gold Glove Award winner last year. Making still highlight plays. Maybe arguably the best center fielder in the sport right now. The 0-1. Hits it off Vega's glove, and that will be likely a hit by Falby. Vintage Kendra Falby putting the ball in play with career hit number 297.
And Falby just hitting the ball hard up the middle, hitting it right back where it came from, but Vega just unable to not try to reach that glove out. So hard sometimes to help ourselves when it feels like it's right to us. I think, though, if she hadn't touched it, Aubrey Evans was right up the middle. Good piece of hitting, but this is what makes Florida so good, is their ability to put the pressure on the defense, put balls in play firm, and try to work from there. Having base runners on definitely helps when you've got some great bats in the top part of your order.
It's officially a hit for Falby. Puts her at 297. 3 hits away from becoming the 3rd Gator ever to reach 300 hits. Kelsey Stewart at 357 and the great Amanda Lorenz at 301. And now 2-0 the count to Corby Otis, who was a first-team All-American last year, top 10 USA softball finalist for Player of the Year last year. So he's ahead of the count 2-0 here against Vega. That is missed, 3-0. Shoemaker on deck. Three balls and no strikes. It's a strike and it's 3-1. Of course, for Vega, you're always, as a pitcher, you're always on instincts, right? You don't know where that ball's going. Your instincts just put the glove up.
Absolutely, and that's why, too, I've seen a lot of PFP throughout my time, and you definitely try to control those things or practice not reaching out, but easier said than done.
Vega there with a pitch there to get it to 3-2.
Nice little changeup action, too, from Vega on that. We talked earlier just about the importance of her mixing speeds. Changeup is starting to come around, finding the strike zone well.
Payoff pitch. Otis pops it up. Damon in foul territory makes the catch to retire the side. Vega gets through it. First Gator threat of the ball game. But they strand 2. Knights up 2. We'll hear from Coach Walton coming up.
Let's go Gators.
Tim Walton joining us here on the broadcast. There you see Caitlin Oxley So far through the first couple innings there, what you think of what Coach Walton had to say there?
I think he's pretty spot on. It's just about committing to a plan, and from the side of pitching, you miss a pitch and good hitters are going to take advantage. It's part of the game, but then you need your offense to come around, and right now just looking to stick to some plans, be a little bit more intentional in the box is going to be key. And they're not number 4 for a reason, so I think they're really good at making adjustments.
Humphreys at the plate, swings and misses. The count is 0-1. It'll be Humphreys followed by Evans and Damon, 2-3-4 against Oxley here in the home half of the third. And Humphreys reaches for it, a nice catch there though, made by Riley Huttorf. Makes the play. Humphreys retired on the line out for the first out here in the third.
And Sierra Humphreys, a little off-speed action there from Oxley, but just a little out front, but shortstop Holtorf making the jump in the grab. Good play.
Now Aubrey Evans, who hit the 2-run homer back in the first inning, takes ball 1. That was the one mistake, as Coach Walton alluded to, from Oxley. What do you think of Oxley here, seeing her now, first couple of 2 and a third innings? Of course, a lot of excitement about Oxley.
I think she's starting to settle in a lot more and throwing a lot more strikes. We saw her getting deep into counts in the first couple of innings, the higher pitch count coming into this inning, but so far settling in, getting quick outs, trying to adjust to that strike zone, establish it herself. It's the hardest part as a young freshman, especially coming into the game, is just allowing your pitches to work and trusting your stuff, but then still trying to manage that control and paint corners.
2-1 pitch is missed high. 3 balls and a strike now to Aubrey Evans. Junior from Apopka against Oxley, and Aubrey reaches for it and lining a nice catch by Williams. Great range there for the sophomore there at second base for the out.
Great range and great timing. Look at how Williams is going to break to the forehand side, a couple of steps back too, giving herself some depth and some room. A lot of athleticism there for Mia Williams. Great play.
So Beth Damon will come to the plate. First pitch to Damon, a strike, it's 0-1. Of course, we talked about Coach Walton and his connections to Coach Ball Malone, but it's not the only UCF coach that he has a connection with. Stacy Pistrak. As that's blooped into right, that's going to drop for a hit. Damon will get a 2-out single here for the Knights in the home half of the third.
Good piece of hitting here by Damon, just letting that changeup get deep in the zone there. Going to float through the zone, but good recognition from Damon out of the hand. Just really forcing herself to stay back, try to drive it the other way.
So there's Damon at first base with Mertez at the plate. Izzy takes the strike. But I mentioned Stacy Pestrak, first base coach for UCF. First year's assistant at UCF, of course, was a player at Florida. Played at 05 and 06, 2 years. Played for Karen Johns, who was the Gator coach in 05. Now does the ESPN stats. And then, of course, in 2006, Pestrak played for the Gators. Tim Walton's first year as head coach. It's ball. 1-2 the count. And, of course, she was part of that Gator staff. There she is right there. Was part of the Gator staff as a volunteer coach in 2015 when the Gators won the national title. 1-2 is missed. 2-2 the count to Izzy Mertez. Kind of a unique connection there with Coach Pestrak and Walt.
Refreshing because of perspective, because of their intensity. I mean, I was telling somebody the other day, Eric, it's not very often in your life you get to be around this many like-minded people.
Erickson with a high fly ball to deep left center. It's caught. And Erickson is retired on the fly out with Simon making the catch for 2 outs here in the fourth. Reagan Walsh will come to the plate. Of course, Fran spent so much time in Orlando with her husband, Kristen Brewy, who's a local sportscaster and a newscaster, for making that jump to the coaching realm. Fran called many regionals nationally. Sat in that booth and got tired of hanging out with me and decided, I'm going to get out of there. I'm going to just go into coaching.
I feel like coaching was always in her cards too. Just stayed around the game ever since she got done playing it, and was so much fun to listen to learn from.
That is popped up in the infield as Jaimez makes the catch as Walsh is retired. A 1-2-3 inning for Vega and the Knights We head to the bottom of the fourth. We'll hear from Coach Ball Malone when we return. Knights up 2.
This combo meal's got combinations. Make this thing your own creation. Entree, drink, and choice of size. Oh, and it's free to swap fries. Have it your way.
Điểm tắt đúng không? Nhưng mà như các bạn có mở nhạc đấy, cái đồng hồ em tắt người ta không để ý.
Có phải là nó không quảng cáo đúng không? Mà nó vẫn để cái màn hình.
Thì em cứ nhìn cái đồng hồ đấy em tắt mà. Thì em có nhìn nó không quảng cáo mà nó vẫn có đáy. Em nhìn bên em nhìn như thế.
Tức là bình thường người ta ấy là thì biết được nó quảng cáo như này. Cũng có những trận không có quảng cáo mà nó hết điểm nghỉ hết chứ.
Nó không phải quảng cáo đâu, nhưng nó có nhạc.
Phải quay cái trận đấy.
Thì không biết làm sao quay lại mà.
Kia, movement that inspires.
What are we doing today, Coach?
So, today we're going to work on our checking on...
Sorry, I heard checking.
A bit of a misunderstanding.
I meant checking on how we can help save our customers money on their car insurance.
And whether they need car, home, boat, or pet coverage.
Precisely. Now, let's go again. Susan?
Always wanted to do that.
My turn.
Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
Best day of training so far.
How's your elbow?
It's killing me.
Welcome back. Bottom of the fourth, Knights with a 2-0 lead over Florida on an autism awareness game, 3rd annual. And joining us now is UCF head coach Sydney Ball Malone. And coach, autism awareness, I know this day means a lot to you. Just talk about this day.
Yeah, it does mean a lot. I love the support from the community. You know, we found out that our oldest son, when he was 2 years old, just before I took the job, was diagnosed on the spectrum, and it's just such a learning process. But to know that we're not alone is amazing.
Coach, your team comes out here sometimes and just looks different. What do you like what you're seeing from your squad this evening?
Yeah, I mean, you go through the ebbs and flows of the season, and you know, we're starting to have fun again, and that's the biggest thing. And so, you know, we've got 2 runs, but some loud outs, and that's what I love about our group. So I just want to keep that going.
All right, Coach, I appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you.
Head coach Sydney Ball Malone joining us. Knights with a 2-0 lead. It'll be Stormy Kopselnick to lead it off here for the Knights, followed by Coco Jaimes, Ashley Griffin, 6, 7, 8. You sense the body language for this team's a lot different than we saw last week.
A lot different, and she said it best. They're making loud outs and they're having fun. And when you do that in softball, it definitely makes the game a little bit more enjoyable when you're on that side. And when you're struggling, trying to ride those lows, man, it gets tough, it gets gritty. And that's where you really got to just kind of look within. Easier said than done most of the time.
0-1 is bunted foul. That's the thing we forget with softball. This even applies to baseball. It's a marathon. I don't care how good you are. You're going to have some bad weeks, some slumps.
Always, and that's why, you know, they call it a roller coaster. Of course, they say it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You got to just ride the highs, ride the lows a little bit. You just can't get either side too much. Trying to keep your composure as much as possible.
2 is fouled off. And remember, with this Knights team, it's not an excuse, it's just a fact. There's a lot of new freshmen who haven't gone through this before, and at this level, the highest level, with the great competition. So sometimes it takes a little bit to figure it out. 0-2. I'm sure you had, even of your brilliant career, you had some tough times on the field where you couldn't find a good swing, and it maybe took you a few days to figure it out.
There were a lot of lows, Eric. I stayed figuring it out. I still stay figuring it out.
1-2 is sliced foul. Now, Travis Wilson, your old coach there, assistant for Florida State, was going to be my podcast guest on Thursdays in the Circle. Alluded to that about you.
Yeah.
We talked about you in the episode.
You got to fight the good fight, and if you're lucky, you got people in your corner fighting it with you. I feel like that's most of us in life. You're just looking for a team, a home base.
A ball and 2 strikes. Stormy pops it up in the infield. Cahalan comes in to make the catch. 1 out. Here in the bottom of the fourth, Coco Jaimes coming to the plate. Of course, both of these teams will be on the road this weekend. Florida will go to Auburn to take on the Auburn Tigers, a team that is trying to find themselves 0-9 in the SEC. Gators and the Tigers this weekend. UCF will go to Waco to take on the Baylor Bears, as the Knights are going to be on the road for a little while. Be in Waco against Baylor for a 3-game Big 12 series this weekend. It's the 1-0. Missed their 2-0 to count. They'll be out next the following weekend, a non-conference series at Oklahoma, up at a brand new Love's Field. St. Thomas is also in that field, so it's a 3-team field. As Jaimez grounds to second, Williams bobbles it, and there'll be no play. That'll be an error on Williams with 1 out.
Coco Jaimez just putting this ball in play hard there, but the third bounce is a little difficult for Mia Williams, unable to come up with it. That one's tough too, because as the fielder, you just got to try your best to stay down, stay through the ball, and just working from there. But good piece of hitting by Jaimez, trying to apply the pressure to the defense. Finds her way on base.
And now that pitch hits Griffin, as that one gets away from Oxley, and it's 2 on, 1 out for UCF here in the 4th.
Oxley just trying to throw that one up and in, but just rides a little bit way too far. Coming in on the shoulder of Griffin, and that's what you don't want to see though if you're Florida, is the back-to-backs, especially with kind of the free passes, the error, the hit by pitch, not really making them earn their way on base. But I think more than anything right now too, Eric, UCF trying to capitalize on those mistakes is also pretty important.
Addie Simon at the plate, 0-1 to count. Takes a ball. Of course, defense, that was something that Coach Walton told us right now. They need to get better on. He was not happy where they're at defensively. That's their 28th error this year. They're ranked 57th in the country in fielding percentage. That's a program that are normally in the top 10. They take a lot of pride in their defense, and he's not been happy with their defense so far this year, as he told us here earlier this week. And when we talked to him yesterday, I could see why. Certainly top 10, I think now for the last decade it seems. As Simon gets jammed and pops it up, as Horttorf comes over from short to make the catch for the second out. Big out there to get Simon. So 2 on, 2 out here in the 4th for Samantha Ray, who will step in. In fact, both coaches have not been happy with their defense this year.
I think that's a lot of teams across the country right now. Talking about too, like the time spent on defense, and coaches will tell you we're spending a lot of our team time on the field doing that kind of stuff, trying to take care of the ball, talking plays, talking strategy and positioning, but it doesn't seem like sometimes it's coming through in the game. It's not for a lack of effort.
Ray ahead of the count, 2-0 for the sophomore. Was an all Big 12 freshman unanimous choice a year ago. Hitting here with 2 on, 2 out in the 4th. It's a strike, it's 2-1. You have Jaimez at second, who reached on the air, and then Griffin, who was hit by a pitch at first base. 2-1 is in there for a strike. 2-2 to count. The 2-2 pitch. Ray fouls it off.
Coach Bob Malone in the last couple of weeks too, having changed the lineup a little bit, had Sierra Humphreys in that leadoff spot, but then tried to move her down in the 2 and 3 hole to give her some more RBI opportunities. But Sammy Ray in a big situation here, looking to put on some insurance runs if possible.
Ray takes ball 3. Ray started the year in the leadoff spot, and then they've moved her around. She's a key player for their offense. They got to get her going, get on base. Ray to the right side. Williams is there. Will throw to first. A nice lean there by Walsh to make the catch to retire the side. See Chloe Evans, great career, arguably one of the great outfielders. That's a fair ball by Williams. A base hit to left field. As the Gators start the 5th inning here with a single from Mia Williams.
And Mia Williams drives this one right there down the left field line. Sierra Humphreys tries to make the diving grab, but just hit too sharp. This is the start right now that Florida wants to see, trying to get something going here later in the game. Leadoff batters on base helps.
It's the first hit for the Gators out of the infield here against Vega. Now Cahalan at the plate. Swings first pitch, pops it up. Who's got it? Humphreys coming in from third to make the catch at a big out to get Cahalan for the first out here in the 5th.
Just still a little bit out front right now, not necessarily committing to a plan, but Sarah Humphreys calling everybody else off, and that's something that we've seen UCF be a little bit shaky on, Eric, the last couple of weeks, is kind of infield priority, pop fly priority, but a lot of definitiveness out there on the field tonight.
Ava Brown at the plate takes ball 1, 1-0 the count with a runner at first and nobody out. Just to finish the thought on Chloe Plate, she's in her first year of player development and data analysis there with Coach Walton's staff. Travels with them everywhere. Is on the visiting press box, and she's enjoying that side, and who knows, could get into coaching after this. There she is right there working, getting some of the, talk about the new era here, Alex. All these different personnel people behind the scenes working for these coaching staffs in softball, getting these advanced analytics. There's a pop-up foul territory. Humphreys leaning in there near the dugout. Out of her reach, and the count is 1-2.
Sarah Humphreys with a good attempt. Had something similar like this a couple weeks ago over in Gainesville. Made the diving grab too in foul territory in the dugout.
Everybody getting out of the way.
Right? You should have to stand there and try to catch her in case she falls over the ledge, but good thing she doesn't, keeps her wits about her.
1-2. Fouled off again.
But you talk about the support staff, Eric, and it really does take a village to get these college athletes and these programs running and just trying to keep everybody on the same page. And so often we talk to these coaches, especially when they have a lot of youth on the roster, knowing, man, they'd forget simple things like water bottles before road trips, the whole 9, right? So just trying to keep everything in check, and that's where the support staff is so crucial.
Brown pops it up in the infield. Humphreys makes the catch, and Brown is retired. 2 outs here in the 5th. So 2 down here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Holtorf to the plate. Of course, Chloe, a 2-year starter at UCF, part of that 2023 AAC championship team, and of course, the inaugural Big 12 year last year, all Big 12 performer. There's a bunt by Holtorf, a good one. Humphreys will have no play. What a beautiful bunt by Riley Holtorf. Gets a bunt single, and the Gators have 2 on 2 out here in the 5th.
Holtorf with a sneaky bunt there, knowing that Sarah Humphreys is playing back with 2 outs and bottom of the order, just trying to turn things over. Look at that, late, takes advantage of the changeup there. That's really smart in the box. But also, I think a heads-up play by Humphreys, not trying to force a throw, keep everybody in place on the base path.
Falby now at the plate, takes ball 1. 1-0 the count to Falby now. Singh had that infield hit off the glove of Vega in her last at bat. Hitting here with 2 on 2 out. 1-0. Falby fouls it off, and the count is 1-1.
And knowing that one of the things Kendra Falby does so well is put the ball in the ground and just allow her speed to do the work. You got to look at where this infield is playing right now for UCF. Everybody pulled in a little bit. Your corners in front of the bags, your middles in the baseline, just respecting the speed down the line that Falby has.
Grounded is short. Just playing out in the here outside the plex here, and we got one here with Lori Elkins, of course, coming out with Lena Elkins' dog Murray.
So many pooches, we gotta love it. I should have been playing fetch out there in the field before the game. I think that dog would have loved it.
I thought that's what you did when you left during one of the half-inning breaks. I thought that's what you were doing. I was like,
mid-game break for some fetch.
Yeah.
Maybe we can start incorporating that in. The broadcast can just follow us out there.
I mean, you know. Humphreys at the plate here to lead off the night's 5th inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for UCF. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Florida. Here in the home half of the 5th. Humphreys, who has 1 of those 3 hits, came in the 1st inning. That set up the 2-run homer by Aubrey Evans. That's been the difference. And of course now Humphreys facing Ava Brown in relief for the Gators.
And Ava Brown going to come in and kind of show us a little bit of a rise ball changeup and curveball combo here. Something that's made Ava so effective so far this season is just her command and her ability to spin the ball with a lot of tight spin, painting locations has made her elite.
Humphreys hits it to right. Coming in is Shoemaker to make the catch for the first out, as Humphreys is retired. One gone here in the 5th. Of course, this Gator pitching staff getting used to their new pitching coach this year, Stephanie Van Brakel Protho, former Alabama Crimson Tide great, who spent a couple years as the Memphis head coach and, of course, was a longtime pitching coach under Patrick Murphy at Alabama, taking over for Chelsea Dobbins, who got away, stepped aside from college coaching after last year when the Gators got to the World Series. There you see Stephanie Van Brakel on the right. Sunglasses calling the pitches with his staff. Still very young. 1-0. It's a strike. And it's a ball and a strike now to Aubrey Evans. There you see Coach Van Brakel. Of course, faced UCF when she was the head coach in Memphis in 2023. Had a memorable quarterfinal game in Tampa where the Tigers led 4-0. UCF came all the way back to win that game on a Jazz Williams go-ahead home run, and the Knights would go on to win the American Conference Championship in Tampa, home of South Florida. That was their last game as a member of the American. Evans, who was part of that team, pops it up as Torf makes the catch near foul territory for the second out here in the 5th. So 2 gone as Beth Damon will come to the plate. And of course the Gators, have been without Keegan Rothrock, who's day-to-day. Damon has hit foul, but really what it says about this staff. Florida, brutal SEC start to the schedule, Alex, playing at Texas A&M, hosting Texas, coming away 3-3 without Rothrock. Pretty impressive, and you've seen this growth from these pitchers that's going to pay off for them here moving forward.
And to me, that says a lot about the people around me stepping up and just trying to get the job done here. It is the full team effort, and that's where the depth of this Gator lineup has been crucial, because at any time throughout the year, you never know what's going to happen. And so you just always have to stay ready. Your number being called is going to happen at some point or another, and you just want to make sure you're most prepared.
1-1. Damon hits a slow grounder foul.
But I also like that perspective, too, of Coach Walton, just looking at the positives and what are the good things that we can take away from these situations, and sometimes the cards that were dealt. Again, you just never know who's going to be available on certain days and what life is going to bring us, and the ability to adapt and adjust, I think, is where your best players can really shine, because when adversity hits, you got to fall back on your character and your foundation.
Damon fouls it off. He sees the big picture and things.
Correct.
I remember talking to him before the season. Oxley was not going to be available at the beginning of the season, but he wasn't worried about it. Hey, big picture. We're not worried about opening weekend. We're not worried about it's the big picture here, the long game plan. Of course, he was a former baseball player at Oklahoma, won the national title there back in the mid-90s. As Damon lines one into left center field, that's going to drop in for a hit. Damon will round second for a stand-up double for Beth Damon here with 2 outs here in the 5th.
Good 2-out hitting here for Damon. Takes that pitch, borderline goes golfing there, but look at the power of Damon, able to get her hands behind and down through that pitch, driving it all the way to the warning track, Eric. That is not easily done, and that is just showing us how much strength and power Beth Damon has in her swing. Look at that. That's some good hitting.
And Coach Paul Malone getting the attention of home plate umpire William Lopez to go for a pitch runner here, I think, for Damon. But these are 2 head coaches to see the big picture, because it's so easy to get caught up in today and what does this mean for today, but what about 3 months from now? What about a year from now?
You talk to some of the best college coaches, and when I say best college coaches, I mean those with the most elite programs, and that's what they focus so much of their time, effort, and energy on. You've got to win the day, and you've got to take care of business every time you step out on the field, but you also have to get these athletes exposure and experience, because it matters today, but it matters a little bit more come May and June. So again, you've got to make sure you're most equipped and prepared.
Alexis Morgan pinch running here for Damon at second base. 2 outs. For throw from Erickson. Gets into center field. A miscommunication there by the Gators. Falby, though, backing up the play. Erickson has thrown 5 base runners this year. Of course, Gold Glove catcher trying to get Morgan there.
Look at the no hesitation, too, coming from the left side. Not something you get to see very often in baseball especially, but that throw right on the money.
That's fouled. Oh, Coach Paul Malone barehanding that. Of course, was a two-time All-American herself, two-way player. Look at, oh, no, she's going to hear about it. She's going to hear about it now, not being able to come up with that ball. She's like, I was a thrower.
Should have caught it. That's what she's probably telling herself. Come on, Cindy, should have caught that. Izzy Mertez with the 2-out blast, and that one an absolute no-doubter off the bat. That ball was driven so deep, Eric, all the way to the tree there. That's a really good piece of hitting. Mertez only in the even 1-1 count, too. Good aggressive softball right there. Had some great offensive brilliancy.
Mertez, her third home run of the year. 20th, 21st RBI. All of this coming with 2 outs, Alex. In fact, the Knights have had already more hits tonight with runners on than they did in the entire weekend of Iowa State. Only in this sport, right?
Good things happen when you can hit the ball.
But sometimes, like I said, they got away from, softball. They hung out, actually. Stephanie Best, UCF Athletic Hall of Famer, invited the entire team and the staff over to her house to just spend some time away from softball. To feel good, right? Have some fun, good times. The sport can be so mental at times. Boy, look at that smiles. We haven't seen that in a while.
Hitting balls over the park out of here is a lot of fun, so UCF has a lot to smile about right now. And also not typically your power team like that, not a ton of home runs. I mean, a good amount, but.
Meeting over as Van Brakel came out to talk to Brown as Kokselnek here at the plate. A 4-0 lead for UCF. 2-run homer by Aubrey Evans in the first, and a 2-run homer by Izzy Mertez here in the fifth. Has given the Knights a 4-0 lead. Here at the bottom of the fifth. And a ball and a strike. That's low, and you've always told me, and you're not alone, hitting it can be contagious.
Hitting is absolutely contagious. We've got to bring the good juju through, and again, good things happen when you hit the ball hard somewhere.
2 balls and a strike to Kokselnek. Fouls it off. That's why I've always argued with people that have said, well, softball and baseball, they're individual sports. It's an individual in the box and everything. And that's somewhat true. You're in the box, but what you do does impact your teammates in a positive ways and sometimes not so in a positive way. But it's a team game. 2-2 is fouled off.
Well, there's a reason that one of the most popular sayings in softball from a coaching standpoint more so is just pass the bat. Again, do your job, go in there, have a plan, pass the bat. It's not all on you, it's not all on one player to put that kind of pressure on themselves. PR definitely helps. Good stuff so far for UCF.
Otis here to lead it off for Florida, followed by Shoemaker and Erickson. 2-3-4 for this Gator offense. It's capable of scoring runs in bunches. That's missed for a ball. The question is, Alex, how do they do that against Vega?
I think Coach Walton said it best, is just committing to a plan and trying to actually sit one of the velocities. Is we know she can throw hard with the rise ball, but then she's got that good changeup mixed in there too. So we got to pick one and commit to it, even if that sometimes means getting behind in counts. And again, being good athletes, able to hit in 2 strike counts definitely helps us leverage that kind of confidence in the commitment to our plan.
2 balls and a strike to count to Otis. And Vega pounds the strike there, and it's 2-2.
Good pitch from Vega. She can work up, she can work down. She's got the off speed too, so a great mix. She's been super effective and efficient tonight from the circle.
2-2 pitch. Missed high, full count. 3-2 now to Otis. Vega with a 3-2 count. Strike 3 looking frozen. Otis goes down on strikes. A strikeout for the redshirt freshman Vega, 1 out.
Isabella Vega, love this pitch right there, up and out. Great spot, tough pitch. If you're Corby Otis, you're thinking it's possibly a ball, but that one just too close to take. Just absolutely freezes Otis. Love it.
4th strikeout of the night for Vega. And Shoemaker will come to the plate. Now they're going to check, I think, the lineups here. The umpires have gotten together here. William Lopez at home plate with Kevin Condor at first, Jason Smith at third. And you see Otis coming back, so I'm wondering if they're checking the lineup. Somebody maybe re-entry. They're going to double check. Beth Damon re-entered at catching for Morgan. See Coach Ball Malone, and they see the umpiring crew discussing this. Lengthy conversation. And we'll see if we come up to a decision here. Top of the 6th. It's a pretty big call here. If Otis comes back, it's certainly they take the out away. If they stay with it, they get the out. Again, a lengthy conversation. I'm not sure exactly what else it could be here, Alex.
I think you're right. It's some kind of substitution stuff, questions. Again, we haven't had many coming into this game. Only one so far for Beth Damon, and she was re-entered at the start of the inning.
So are they going to review whether she re-entered? Because they're going away now into the replay. And let's see here. They're going into the underneath the tent. That's where the replay monitor system is. They're getting the rule book, so they're not looking at the replay. There's the rule book, Alex. Where's Justin McLeod when you need him? He always brings a rule book every game he covers for D1 softball.
Probably an unpopular opinion here, but it's never a good sign when the umpires are getting the rule book out.
The strikeout.
I was wondering too if it could have been some kind of pitch clock violation of some sort or something maybe that was missed.
Can't say I've ever seen this before. So I'm kind of curious. So they're looking the rule book here about the re-entry rule or something, not sure. But it looks like.
Well, you know what? I take that back a little bit. I say it's never a good thing when the umpires get the rule book out, but at least they're looking at whatever it is that they're questioning and maybe a little uncertain of. At least they're checking. That's called humility. And
well, the only thing is it's, we have a delay here. And again, it's a big, big moment here because it's either going to have Otis back at the plate with nobody out, or the play will stand and there will be an out. But,
and Eric, I feel like you might be right about your possible insinuation here about the substitution being in question because you have Coach Bob Malone going out to talk to her field.
No, that's exactly
kind of pointing to herself, saying, "Hey, it's on me." But maybe I think we handled business. We took care of it. Is kind of what I gathered. If I could lip read.
Oh, I didn't know you were a lip reader. Look at you. That's a good. Thing you can do. I can't lip read with the best of them.
Have you seen some of those accounts where those people just totally make up what's going on out there on the field and do the lip reading on Twitter? Come on, it's good stuff.
Trust me, there was a whole thing last year with UCF involved.
That's right.
Yeah, we don't need to get into that.
That's right.
Samantha Ray's family knows all about it. They don't want to hear about it. All right, they're coming out here. I don't know if they found it with the rule book. They're still talking. I can't wait to see now. They'll get both coaches, I'm sure, going to get an explanation here. And I'm guessing one of them will not be happy. And we'll probably give an idea what the call will be or what the decision, ruling would be as they discuss this with both. Of course, we got a lot of media here, local media here for this game. Matt Rochelle, the Orlando Sentinel's here. Bryson Turner of the Black and Gold Banneret is here. I have a feeling this question will be brought up in the postgame. And looks like Otis will stay as out, it looks like. So whatever ruling they figured, apparently everything was proper. Or no, or is it? Yeah, looks like everything's proper.
Proper status quo.
Status quo is a good word, Alex. Thank you. All right, that was interesting. 1 out, so the play stands. It's a strikeout. Taylor Shoemaker will hit, but there is 1 out, so that stands. So can't say I've ever seen that, Alex, in my 19 seasons of college softball. Have you ever been a part of that?
Don't think so.
Shoemaker now with no 1 on and 1 out. That's a big, whatever it was, it's significant because they get the leadoff runner out.
Definitely significant when you've got a hitter like Shoemaker up.
Yeah. So 0-1 the count. Shoemaker hits it off the end of the bat, pops it up to left. Ray under it, makes the catch. 2 outs here in the 6th. 2 big outs. Meanwhile, Vega's not fazed by any of this stuff. She doesn't care. She's like, whatever, just let me know when I can throw a pitch, and I'm throwing it.
You can't be fazed as an athlete. You just got to go out there, do your job, take care of business. Let the coaches handle the coach stuff, right? You just go out there and compete.
Erickson now at the plate. Takes a strike, 0-1 to count. I've noticed you and I in the 3 years, we see a lot of weird stuff happen in these broadcasts. I can tell you that. You know, when Fran was here, we just did the games, went straight through. But we had a tie in our first broadcast together, a 0-0 tie. There's Fran. We never had that issue when Fran was in the booth. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I've learned from Coach Wilson.
Okay.
We're just throwing you in.
I'm just going to say okay.
0-1. It's a strike. 0-2. But Vega's not phased at all. A lot of pitchers in a lengthy delay like that, Alex, would get maybe thrown up, but not her. She's ahead. 0-2 of Erickson. Goes away. 1-2. What's impressed you here seeing Vega this year?
I think Isabella Vega's done a fantastic job just having good control and command. Again, as a freshman coming in, you sometimes try to overpower your pitches. You don't trust your stuff as much because you're going out there competing against some of the top hitters. But I think she's done a fantastic job just navigating that, trusting her stuff, sometimes overthrowing, but then finding her way back.
Came into this game with a 4.5 strikeout to walk ratio, which is 37th in the country. Giving up an average of...
Good piece of hitting here for Erickson. Just takes that ball left a little bit too over the middle of the plate. Drives it deep center field. You got your center fielder, Maddie Simon, trying to track it all the way to the warning track, but ball's going to catch the fence, ricochet a little bit. That's good stuff for Erickson.
8th double of the year for the first-team All-American from a year ago. The reigning SEC Player of the Year, Erickson. That's a strike to Reagan Walsh. So Walsh will come to the plate here with 1 on, 2 out here in the 6th. Vega on the 0-1. There's a strike, and is ahead quickly of Walsh, 0-2. Vega ahead 0-2 on Walsh. It's a little grounder to third. Humphreys is there. Will throw to first in time to retire the side. Vega works around a 2-out double as the Gators strand her at Erickson at second. UCF up 4, heading to the bottom of the 6th.
Pooch enjoying a pup cup. Man, I love that shot. That's a good little picture, man. I love all the Pooches. Keep sending them through on X and tag us at UCF Production. That one looked like a little puppy pooch.
First pitch, ball 1 to Coco Jaimes. It'll be Jaimes, Griffin, and Simon, scheduled hitters against the 3rd Gator pitcher of the evening for Florida, coming in here in the ball game. And Kara Hammock, the senior, of course, pitched at UNCW, got the win a few weeks ago against UCF. Helped UNCW get to the NCAA tournament last year, was the CAA tournament MVP. He's been to the tournament a couple of times. She's done a great job this year in her first year as a Gator. You see her numbers? Bringing some veteran leadership. Good experience. Of course, played volleyball as a two-sport star in high school. Jaimes fouls it off. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for UCF. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Florida. Both teams have left 5 on base.
Hammock coming into this game too, a little different look than we've seen so far with Oxley and Brown. More down in the zone, kind of working that drop ball in a little bit too. So the drop ball, fastball, changeup combination, and trying to work that bottom half of the zone a little bit more. So trying to change the eye level of these UCF hitters.
Oxley started the game. Ava Brown came in relief, and that ball is hit to right. Shoemaker is under it to make the catch to retire Jaimes for the first out. Here in the bottom of the 6th. Ashley Griffin will come to the plate. Of course, this is the second and final meeting for these two teams this in the regular season, but there's always the possibility these two teams will play in the regionals. First pitch to Griffin to strike. UCF 33 in the RPI coming into this ball game. Florida, depending on the RPI, which day you're looking at, could be number 1 or number 2 in the RPI coming into this ball game. So a very significant game. Of course, UCF for many years were sent to the Gainesville Regional. The last time they played in Gainesville was 2016 when they got to the regional final. The 1-1. Griffin takes a strike. Course. Maybe the most memorable regional matchups these two teams had was 2008. Florida ranked number 1 all year with Stacey Nelson and Francesca Anea. Had a 41-game win streak snapped by Allison Kime to force a Game 7, which the Gators would win. They would go on eventually to get to their first ever College World Series trip that year in 08. Of course, UCF eliminated Florida in the 2005 Gainesville Regional, led by Stephanie Best. That would be Karen John's last game as Gator head coach. That's a comebacker to Hammock, who will throw to first in time to retire Griffin. And what's significant about that is, of course, with Karen Johns in Florida parting ways, then AD Jeremy Foley hired a head coach from Wichita State by the name of Tim Walton. Needless to say, I think it's worked out.
I think it's been a pretty good move for both.
I would say so. Of course, done a fantastic job in the NFCA Hall of Fame, inducted this past December. Trying to find some answers here tonight as Kendall Yarnell will pinch hit here for Simon. Of course, UCF will be at Baylor on ESPN Plus starting Friday night, 7:30 Eastern. Alex and I will not be on that broadcast. We have now warned you, just so you know. You can catch Alex this weekend. She'll be in Tallahassee for the NC State FSU series. You're more than welcome to check that out. Hopefully the times don't conflict. Yarnell is the 0-1. It's a ground ball to short. Torres throw to first in time to retire the side. We head to the top of the 7th. Knights with a 4-0 lead over number 4 Florida. You're watching the Big 12 at ESPN Plus. Vega. The 1-0. It's missed 2-0.
Vega has been so good throughout this game, just really effective out of the circle. To have your pitch count under 100 right now. Looking good, looking steady and confident.
Vega delivers a strike. Her favorite pitcher, her favorite player, was Kat Osterman growing up. Pretty good role model to have. You look at their breakdown.
At the splits there, almost 30 balls in, just in the mid-range of the 50s. Strikes.
And she gets a strike there, 2-2. She's been able to mix those speeds all night.
She's mixed speeds and mixed locations really effectively. Now one more up in the zone there, the rise ball again, and that's what Coach Walton was talking about. We got to hunt the better pitches a little bit better. Trying to swing at strikes and get our barrel out there when we do.
Oh, she pulled the strings and gets Williams there for the strikeout. 1 out here in the 7th.
Rise ball changeup combo is deadly there. Isabella Vega keeping that changeup up in the zone, but gonna tunnel similarly to the rise ball again because of the elevated height out of the hand. Great pitch for Vega.
So 1 out. There's going to be a pinch hitter. Freshman Gabby Comilla. Comilla, the freshman out of St. John's, Indiana, was 1 for 2 against UCF a couple of weeks ago. Has been playing a lot at the DP spot. But Gabby will pinch hit here for Cahalan, if for nothing else, to try to give Vega a different look. First pitch from Issa is ball 1. 1-0 to count. One and 0 the count here. Gators trying to get some base runners, down 4. But Vega just keeps pounding that strike zone.
That's the importance, too, of facing a pinch hitter right now is just attack the zone, and you're up a 4-run lead, which definitely feels a lot better, too, when you're out there on defense, knowing that you've got some room to work with. So just attack the zone, throw strikes, let your defense work behind you.
1-1. Popped up foul right on top of the press box. Right on top of Jacob, the PA announcer. Oh, that ricochet near off center or home plate camera. And look at the fan right there getting the ball. I don't think he realized he's going to have to give the ball back here soon. I think he just, he's like, yep. He's looking, oh, look, I got it. I'm going to throw it. Oh, lefty. Look at this. Nice throw.
Oh, and she caught it as well.
1-2, hit to second. Backhand by Jaimes, but well hit ball by the young freshman who gets on. Gabby here with 1 out here in the 7th.
Good piece of hitting by Camilla. Strives that one almost up the middle. Jaimes tries to do the backhanded action there, just doesn't come up with it. That one hit really sharp. Be curious to see how it gets ruled.
It's a single. Well, I mean, that was well hit. That was one of the better hit balls Florida's had all night. And looks like they're going to see here, we got a hitter coming up for Florida. As the Gators going back to the bench here, Cassidy McClellan, the sophomore out of Lakewood Ranch, Florida, so to hit here with 1 on, 1 out, hitting in the 8th spot. And if you're Florida, you're just hoping to get back to the top of the order. Vega delivers first pitch strike. Of course, if you're Vega, you have a 4-run lead to work with. How big is that 2-run homer by Izzy Mertez back in the 5th inning?
Definitely feeling good about that now. And we talk about those insurance runs and the importance of them. Definitely helps levels of comfort this late in the game.
Swing and a miss, and Vega ahead 0-2.
Good pitch there for Vega. Just leaning into that rise ball a little bit more, trusting the spin, trusting her location.
The 0-2 is popped up to left. Ray is under it, makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning, and the Knights are an out away. Holtorf will come to the plate. 2021 was the last time UCF beat to nothing. That was the flat tire game. When the UCF bus had a flat tire, they were late to the game, and they came out hitting the 1st inning. First pitch. Of course, they also beat them that year here in 2021 on the walk-off home run by Carissa Ornelas. That gave the program their 700th win in program history. Aaliyah White got the win in relief. The 1-0. It's a strike, and it's 1-1 to Holtorf.
Talk about controlling the controllables too as a player, Eric, and that one might give me a little sense of anxiety if we're late to the game. I don't want to feel.
And Vega gets the win, and a big win for UCF.
Isabella